Welcome, sweet friends, to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy, my husband is Paul, and we are an early retirement, debt and mortgage-free couple living in the state of New York. And our channel basically just guides you on how to live a full, abundant life while spending less money. Today is Tuesday, which means it's viewer's choice or challenge. And this is when we go through emails that our viewers have sent us on ideas for videos. Today, a big shout out to Sherry, who asked, what do your meals look like during a normal week? Do you ever food prep? Paul and I sat down and we thought about this. What we want to show you is our frugal kitchen, how we save money in the kitchen. This goes hand in hand with Sherry's question. We have been in a total heat wave here, as I know so much of the country, Europe, all over. We have all been in a really bad heat wave. We are trying to find ways to cook without heating up the house. In today's video, we're going to share some frugal recipes, some that we're prepping to have extra of for a later time. They use the air fryer. They use a good old-fashioned electric griddle and our crock pot. And along the way, these quick recipes we're showing you are going to save you money. They're going to make your life easier. They're going to keep your kitchen cool. And each one of them is very, very delicious and all Paul approved. What we are going to show you is how to do more with less. First thing we're going to show you is a recipe we made with about a quarter loaf of bread that we had forgotten was in the back of the refrigerator. We knew it was there, but we thought it was still soft and it had gotten that refrigerator feel where it's kind of a little dry and just not perfect. I'm going to show you a frugal, easy recipe, how to make extra. Pop that in the freezer for a later date. Let's turn the camera around with our first recipe. We have got a bunch of bread here that was in the back of the refrigerator that needs to be used. It was like a quarter loaf, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So it's like 11 pieces here, including the ends. What we're going to do is make some super easy French toast. But we are going to make all of this into French toast, and then we're going to freeze it so we have it. It is such an easy recipe. You just take it frozen and reheat it in the toaster, and it comes out great. I put 4 eggs in this bowl. I am going to also add a half a cup of milk to this. And now I'm just going to whisk this well. Now, by all means, you don't have to do this, but I usually add just a drop of pure vanilla. It really does enhance the flavor. And I always add a little bit of ground cinnamon, but you don't have to do either. I know vanilla is expensive. And we're just going to give this another good whisk. Get all that cinnamon off the side. Don't want to waste that. So I'm just going to take my bread. I have my griddle on about 325 and they are doing beautifully. The 4 eggs and the half a cup of milk did just about 10 slices. This is 8, and then I have 2 of the ends still in the eggs. So 4 eggs, half a cup of milk, did 10 slices beautifully. I think these are ready to be turned. I just greased the griddle lightly. They smell so good. It's a great economical way to use up bread. Couple of eggs, and you have quite a few breakfasts, light dinners, light lunches. Perfect. So we're going to cook these through. After we cooked them, The ones we weren't eating right away, I put on a wire rack to cool. We're just gonna let it cool slightly until they're just about warm. And then I'm going to lay them flat on a tray, put it in the freezer just like this. When they are frozen solid, I'll take them out because at that point, they'll be individual, they'll be hard, and they won't stick together. I'll put them in a freezer safe container. When we need one or two, we pull them out and they go right into the toaster frozen to reheat and make a delicious breakfast. Super easy, economical way to use up some stale bread, put some fresh fruit over the top of them. It's just a great way to use up some bread and eggs. Now we have a little extra French toast in the freezer. You could have made an entire loaf. This recipe stretches eggs really far. It's so delicious. Doesn't heat up the house, and you use that old-fashioned griddle. Now the next two recipes, I would say more dinner recipes. One is a crock pot recipe and one is an air fryer recipe. Now the crock pot recipe, I think I had showed you a while ago. It's for my hearty Italian stew, using all the delicious fresh vegetables that are now in abundance. This is actually, I think, a vegan meal if you don't put cheese on it at the end. I think. You guys would know better, but I'm pretty sure this is vegan. I definitely know it's vegetarian. And then the air fryer recipe is crispy chicken legs. Remember those chicken legs that we spent 99 cents a pound on? Trying to find a way that we would come away loving chicken legs at 99 cents a pound. I think this recipe exceeded our expectations. We're going to turn the camera around. We're going to share both of these money-saving, keep your kitchen cool recipes right now. Remember those chicken legs we bought? We are going to make the simplest recipe with these. They're called air fryer chicken legs. The recipe comes out crispy, delicious. I have 1 tablespoon of really good extra virgin olive oil that I am putting all over those chicken legs. Now I will link the original recipe below, but I am going to eyeball the spices. You know what your family likes. So I have got onion powder, and I am going over them with onion powder. Chili powder, I'm going over them with chili powder. And any of these spices that you don't like, don't use them, swap out. A little bit of garlic, a little bit of paprika, some cracked black pepper, and then just a sprinkling of a little sea salt. That's it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get down and dirty with this chicken and rub this and the spices all over each piece. You want them really coated well. This chicken was washed, and then we did use a couple of our emergency napkins to dry the chicken well, because that will make for a crisper crust. And I did preheat the air fryer on 400 for just about 5 minutes. And that's all there is to it. We just made this. So now we're going to take it over to the air fryer. Now we're going to lay these, and be careful, the air fryer is hot. We just preheated it. Don't stack your chicken legs. I could get more in here, but there's only 2 of us. But you don't want to stack it because then you will lose that crispness. Just a little extra on my hand right there. We're going to put them in the air fryer at 400 degrees for 13 minutes. Turn them and do another 13 minutes. So my hands are all washed and cleaned now, and I am going to put this in 400, and we're going to set it for 13 minutes. And then we'll check it and give it a turn. So these cooked for 13 minutes on one side. Ooh, they are looking crispy. Now I am just going to turn them over. We want to make sure these are cooked all the way through. Slippery little things. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put them in for another 13 minutes on this side now. Continuing at 400 degrees. These just finished another 13 minutes. Oh, they look so crispy. I am actually blown away. I don't think I have ever made an easier
crispy fried chicken. Look at that.
Oh my, wow. Please check the internal temperature. It has got to be above 165 degrees. You all know that, to make sure you are not consuming any kind of raw poultry. So we're going to let this cool for a second, and then our taste tester is going to take a bite.
Air fryer crispy chicken legs. It's going to be good. It's hot. Look out, Colonel Sanders. I think we got you beat. It's got such good flavor. The seasoning, the crispy skin, it's just very good. It's cooked beautifully right through, hot, delicious, it's juicy, it's crispy. Yeah, really good, really good.
I am going to be making some delicious veggie crock pot stew. Perfect for this warm weather. Everything goes in the crock pot and you just let it cook till these flavors meld together. I've got zucchini, I've got celery, I've got carrots, and I've got some of those delicious yellow beans from our garden. This is really just such a healthy meal. I'm going to prep the tomatoes first with a little bit of olive oil and garlic in a pan before I add everything into the crock pot. So I have got some good olive oil, just going to cover the bottom of the pan. This is going to give the soup some flavor too. You can see that beautiful color. Now we're going to let this olive oil just heat for a minute. Then I'm going to add a little bit of garlic, and I'm going to add a little bit of fresh basil from the garden. I've got a bunch of basil leaves, and I'm just going to break them apart like this. Throw them right in. And you can use dried basil too as well. Then I'm going to take some fresh garlic. We're going to add this. We don't want to burn that garlic, so keep an eye on it, just till you can smell that garlic. I have a 28-ounce can of petite diced tomatoes. I buy these when they go on sale. And I'm going to probably put a half a can in with a little bit of the juice. This is going to be the base for our soup. Now you could add the whole can in for sure. And then I am also going to add some Italian seasoning, which is basically a little bit of oregano, a little bit of sage, a little bit of dried basil and garlic. And we're just going to cook this till it comes to a boil and those flavors all come together. And now I'm going to take the rest of the can right away and put it into a freezer safe container. And it's going to go right into the freezer, and I'm going to add it to my freezer inventory. You don't want food to sit around the refrigerator and possibly go bad, so it's going to go right into the freezer. So we have all our delicious chunked vegetables here. And we're going to put those right in. You know what else I'm going to add? I'm going to add an onion. So give me a second. I'm going to cut up an onion and add that as well. And I took about a half an onion and I just cut that up as well and add that. Now to the crock pot, I'm going to add 4 cups of water and another 2. So that's just about 6 cups of water. We don't want this too watery. It's more of a stew than it is a soup. And now I'm going to take our tomatoes, basil, garlic, and add this in as well. Can you see where we are going with this? Now, a lot of people say, oh, Emmy, that's a cold weather meal. But it's not, because this is when vegetables are so in abundance. This is when they're freshest. And another thing is, those scraps from peeling the onion, from peeling the carrots, and the ends of the celery, either put them in a bag in the freezer, use them for stock, or compost them. Please, please don't put those peelings in the garbage. Now we're going to set this on high. I am going to cover that and we are just going to let it cook for several hours at least. This has been cooking on high for about 6 hours, and the vegetables are fork tender and everything looks wonderful. I'm not going to add the pasta to the pot because I want to freeze some of this because I made an awful lot, and you don't want to freeze the pasta with this stew. So what I'm going to do is take a little of this out, put it in a smaller pot on the stove, and add my pasta to that. And then the rest I'm going to let cool just a bit, and then we're going to freeze some of it. All those vegetables came out so beautiful, and the broth, cannot wait. A little bit of Parmesan cheese on top. Just a simple dinner of fresh vegetable stew. And I added a little bit of orzo pasta, delicious. We had some Italian bread rolls in the freezer, and I made a quick everything but the bagel seasoning toasted Italian bread to eat with it, to dip in those juices. Just a simple, frugal, healthy meal. Both of those recipes are a win-win. Now we have half of that veggie stew in the freezer for a later date, and how I would reheat it: take it out, thaw it in the refrigerator, put it in a pot, and I'd add about a 1/4 cup of orzo to it. Oh my goodness, and you have another fantastic meal already done. And the chicken legs, I don't even know what to say. I was so surprised at how good they were. We had a fresh green salad and some corn with those chicken legs. So good. Here now are 2 items that we just wanted to share with you to show you how we save in the kitchen. One is to preserve our fresh garden yellow beans, and the other is, what did we do with the leftover beet brine when we made those refrigerated pickled beets? Here you go. We finished 1 jar of our refrigerator beets, and we still have all this great liquid left. So what we're going to do is take 4 eggs that I hard boiled. We're going to make ourselves some pickled eggs with the brine from the beets. So these should be great. Tomorrow's salad, we will have pickled eggs to put on top. Put them right back in the refrigerator and eat within a few days. I have a bunch of our garden fresh yellow beans. Look at how beautiful these are. I washed them thoroughly and then I snapped the ends off. And now I am going to boil some water. We're going to blanch them and freeze them. I'll show you quickly how we do that. We will have summer fresh green beans in our freezer come the dead of winter, which I love that idea. My water came to a boil. Now what I'm going to do, drop my string beans in. I am going to blanch them for just about 2 minutes. That's it. Some people blanch 3 minutes, some people blanch 4. So we're just going to put the timer on for 2 minutes. The 2 minutes are up. In this container, I have ice water. So what I'm going to do is very carefully take my beans out and plunge them right into the ice water. Get as much of that hot water off as you can. This will stop the cooking process and keep them that beautiful color we want. And these are going to freeze just wonderfully. We're going to let them sit in this ice water just about 4 minutes. That's all. Can you see this? That is a Mickey head ice cube. I do have Mickey head ice cube trays, so I thought you'd get a kick out of that. So we're just going to let this sit another couple of minutes, and then we'll drain these and we'll show you what's next. I have a clean cotton towel here. I'm going to take them out, and I'm just going to lay them on the cotton towel. I'm going to roll these up now just to dry them a little bit, because the way we do them is we freeze them individually on a tray, so you're not getting one big clump of string beans when you pull them out. So we're gonna just let these drain for a minute. So now these are ready to be put into the freezer just for a couple of hours until they are frozen throughout. These froze for several hours, and you can see they're nice and hard. They're not stuck together. This is the way to do it. Paul is going to food saver them in a plastic bag all together. And then what we do is we unseal the bag when we want some beans. We take out however many we want, and then the bag is resealed with the food saver. So they continuously stay fresh and there is no freezer burn and nothing gets wasted. And those beans will taste as fresh as anything right through the colder months. Here's our food saver again. I know we get so many questions about it. Here it is. It's an older model, but it works for us. Like I say time and time again, it really does. Vanna White over here. And here is one of our packages of string beans going into the freezer. What we would do is just snip the top right across there. I'm holding the camera, that's why I'm laughing, he's showing. Right across the top, take out what you need, and then we reseal and put in the freezer. Today's question of the day is, what is your favorite small appliance? Out of the crock pot, the Instapot, the griddle, toaster, whatever it may be, what is the one small appliance you go back to time and time again? For us, hands down, we have two winners. It's definitely the crock pot and it is definitely the air fryer. We pull those out every week, several times a week. They are two of our go-to appliance, but I'd love to hear what yours is and why you pick that. And please share that down below. I know it would encourage us and I know it would encourage our viewers. So we hope this video was encouraging. We hope it was helpful. If it was, please give it a big thumbs up. That helps us so much out here in YouTube land. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Come on in. Please, we have such a good time here. Our viewers, best on YouTube, hands down. We ask you to stay well. We ask you to be safe. And above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video.